Hello, my name is Joshua Concannon, and this is a presentation over supply chain management for Professor Hardaway's ITM class at St. Louis University. On the agenda for today is numerous subtopics of supply chain management. First, I will give you a brief definition and history of the term. Following that, I will go into the steps involved in supply chain management. Next, evolved over the years, and then view the components of it. The two main approaches in supply chain management are the push and pull approaches, so we will then discuss those briefly before finishing with the uses of supply chain and end with the common consultants. Supply chain management is the management of the flow of goods and services. It begins with the point of origin of the goods and ends with the point of purchase. The Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals says that supply chain management encompasses everything from planning, sourcing, procuring, conversions, and logistics. A great deal of coordination and collaboration is required in this field. The term supply chain management was first used in 1982 when Keith Oliver, consultant at Booz Allen Hamilton, was in an interview with the Financial Times. This is when it was first used. However, it never gained much ground until the mid-90s. The steps involved in supply chain management in the supply chain management process are quite simple and logical. One can always look into them in more detail, but on the basic level, they involve number one, of raw materials from a supplier to an organization. Number two, internal processing of the materials into finished goods. And lastly, the movement of finished goods out of the organization and toward the customer. And as you can see in this diagram, the product must pass through many different entities before reaching its final destination. First the supplier, then the manufacturer, then the distributor, then the retailer, and finally the shopper. Supply chain management began very simply, with a straightforward linear chain. Over the years, however, we have developed these into more complex and dynamic models, as you can see with the right diagram. To someone not familiar with the below-the-surface aspects of supply chain, the topic seems very simple. You would think it just involves the product being handed from one company to another. However, the components are more numerous. These are the components a manager of supply chain management must keep an eye out if they want their company to retain inventory and make the appropriate amount of money off of it. The first components are 1, planning and control, 2, organizational structure, 3, work structure, and 4, management methods. There needs to be a clear and cut plan and structure that must be followed every time purchases or sales are made, and this must be established by the supply chain manager. The last 5 components are information flow facility, product flow facility, culture and attitude, leadership and power, and finally risk and reward. The physical product flow involves the steps I previously supplied, and then the information flow involves the transfer of decisions and ideas among an organization. There are 2 main chain management. The first is the push approach, which states that the company will attempt to forecast the customer demand and make sure they will definitely have enough to cover that. The risk of this approach is that the company may have excess inventory, but will never be out of stock. The other approach is the pull approach, which is the opposite of the push approach. It eliminates the chance for an excess of inventory, but the risk is that the company becomes out of stock in something. As you can see in this diagram, computer equipment is the most common approach, while groceries and beverages are the most common products using the push approach. This slide shows the usage of supply chain capabilities. Optimization tools are currently used the most. However, this graph has the projected uses, and we can see that artificial intelligence is on track for the most growth in the coming years. Reverse supply chain refers to the flow of returned materials from consumers to retailers, from retailers to distributors, or distributors to manufacturers. As you can imagine, this all depends on company policies and terms of agreements on products. Consultants exist today that can help a company manage its supply chain process. Common consulting companies include Booz Allen Hamilton, Deloitte, Hitachi, IBM Global Business Services, and McKinsey & Company. Supply chain management software is the software tools or modules used in executing supply transactions, managing supplier relationships, and controlling associated business processes. Supply chain event management, on the other hand, is a type of business software for managing events that occur within and between organizations or supply chain partners. Now let's do a quick wrap-up. We first went over the background and origin of supply chain management. You can find those slides from 3 to 5. Then we discussed the steps in general, which are on slides 6 and 7, followed by the manner in which the complexity of the management has evolved. On the next several slides, we dove into the components that make up supply chain management and make it so complex. We then looked at the differences between the two approaches to supply chain on slides 12 and 13. And lastly, we looked at the usage potentials of what we learned in common consulting agencies that can help companies manage supply chain. Here are the sources I used to make this presentation. Feel free to follow these links to learn more about supply chain management. I now would like to thank you for your time and bid you adieu. I also would like to invite you to contact me via email with any questions or feedback on the presentation. Have a wonderful day.